guys, welcome to today's video and to my channel if you're new here. I'm Debbie if we've not met before, hello. Today's video is just going to be a chatty get ready with me. I've not filmed in a couple of weeks, so I just thought it could be a good place to start. Feel kind of out of practice a little bit, so got a few older products to use, a couple of things that are new to my collection, but they're pretty much old in the makeup world because everything's old after about 2 weeks, I guess, in the makeup world. But they're things that are exciting to me and I want to try them out. So if you want to just join me for a chatty, chill, get ready with me, then please keep on watching. Okay, for today's video, I've got no makeup on currently, obviously, as you can see by my bare face, and I'm going to be doing a full face get ready with me. But some of the things I'm going to use I've had it a long time, and I'm just going to do my base while I chat to you. So I'm just going to use the Juvia's Place foundation, my shade's Nicaragua. I've already moisturised, sunscreen, etc., but I haven't done anything else. We're just going to use this today. But it's not so much about the products, I just wanted to catch up with you guys really and just see how you've been and let you know how I've been, which I've been a Debbie Downer, shall we say. I was talking to a friend about this and it's definitely true. I need a kick up the butt really. I've let myself get quite down and that's not like me to do that. And I've let things that are important but that shouldn't be the whole focus of my life take over. So I've been really busy at work and I just can't think about anything else. I'm so worried about it all the time, and life's more than just that. But I think I feel so fortunate to be in a position where I've got a good job, that I'm kind of giving it 150% at the moment, and I'm like, I've gotten to the point where the balance has tipped too much for me and I'm not doing things that I enjoy at all because I'm so shattered that all I want to do is sleep when I get home. Well, I'm home all the time, but when I finish work, just layering another layer of this because it doesn't cover my freckles. This sunny weather is really bringing these freckles out, and I know people are painting freckles on these days, but I don't like my freckles, so I'm trying to get rid of those as much as I can. I think when people paint them on they look super cute, but mine are quite big and splotchy and they're everywhere, they're not just sort of over my nose, so just trying to get rid of them a bit. But yeah, my sort of downward spiral, I'll try not to make this too much of a depressing video, but I think everybody's probably feeling some kind of way at the moment with everything that's going on in the world, and I think I've been so positive for the first couple of months of it, but it's sort of dragged on and on how everything is, that I think it's just taken a cumulative toll on me, and I've just let it do that, and I'm angry with myself for that. So going back about 2 weeks ago, work was super busy, and when I get to that stage where it's more busy than I can handle, I become really stressed. I'm not good at handling stress, and so the only way to alleviate that was to do additional hours for which I'm not paid to try and like catch up, which nobody was asking me to do, I'll hasten to add. But I was doing it because I just wanted to like feel more comfortable and more relaxed in my day. But the downside of that was that I was sometimes doing like a kind of 9-10 hour day, plus staying in all day, not seeing a soul all day, and then not doing anything I loved. And so I think that definitely has a toll on your mental health. It did for me, for sure. Just going to get some powder. Going in with the Laura Mercier Glow because it's my favourite, and if I'm filming my comeback video as it were, because it's been 2 weeks or so since I filmed, I may as well use all the things I like to use, so make myself feel good about it. Oh, haven't gone in with concealer, just need a little bit of that. It's the Conceal and Define by Revolution because I don't own another one, so, and that again can go on some of those freckles like I always do. Nobody was telling me to do the additional hours, but I just felt like I wasn't keeping up, so I was doing that. And normally I go out for my walks in the morning, but I wasn't doing that, so I was just getting up at 5, having breakfast with husband, he was going to work, and then I was sitting there from 6 in the morning till sometimes 6 or 7 in the evening working without really taking any breaks for lunch or even getting a coffee. My husband was texting me saying like, make sure you go and get a coffee. I was so worried that I wasn't keeping up with everything. I'm really wanting to make a good impression and do a good job, because who knows what's around the corner with jobs, with all the pandemic and whatever. So, but I've really come to realise that I become very ineffective when I get into that kind of state. I just ended up really, really down, as I say. So decided I need to get out of the house. Had a chat with my boss about it. He's like, why are you doing this anyway? Like, no one's asking you to do it. Like, but it's just me, I think. So decided to start going out, doing my walking again. And last week I felt so much better. And I think I did less hours, but probably got more done, which is crazy. But I just had so much more of a positive mindset. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going through all sorts of emotions. Like, I feel quite positive that we'll come out of all of this pandemic and we'll be able to travel again, we'll be able to do things again. Gosh, I look super pale. I need to get some bronze to this face. See, now I've powdered and I've realised I've got the Milk Makeup bronzing stick I was going to use, so I'm not going to get to use that over powder. What am I going to use? I think I'll use the Oh For Us Month of March River bronzer instead, and I'll save the milk things. I've also got the blush as well, but I think you need to have no powder to do those. I'm going to just use this as kind of contour, because we definitely need to bring back some colour to this face. I think all of my foundations are a bit too pale for the shade that I am, but I'll be back to pale again as soon as it's winter. So for the couple of months that it's ever summer in the UK, I don't ever really bother changing up my shade. I just kind of bronze up and that sorts it out. Yeah, so last week I was then walking for 2 hours in the morning, really enjoying doing that, just having that 2 hours of me time. And then I'd start work at 8 and still really working hard and really tired by the end of the day. And then I just didn't want to film after work. I never like filming after work. And I think this is the thing I've got to try and find a balance for, so I can get a bit more consistent on my channel, is when am I going to do that filming? Because, as I say, I'm wearing myself out with work. I need to get out and walk for my sanity. And then at the weekends, I just want to just lay in the garden and do nothing. So, and I've got to recognise that this is not a job for me, this is a hobby, and if it's adding to my stress, then I need to take a step back, and I think that's what I've done. And I feel actually quite pumped to film today. I was having a chat with a fellow YouTuber yesterday, and they were like, we'll be there ready for you when you're ready to upload, and this person subscribed to me, which is very exciting. And I'm not going to say who it is in case they don't want to be spoken about in the video, but that kind of gave me like a little boost that I needed, and my channel was going so well as well. And this is another thing I do, when I start to become successful at anything, my like inner voice kind of tells me I don't deserve it, or I start to panic about it, and I kind of almost like self-destruct myself, like do something to kind of stop it happening, and then I'm like, I wasn't successful, and then I stop, as if like, I don't know, just scupper my own chances, which is just ridiculous. It's just a trait in my character that I've had all my life. Like, I guess it's a low self-esteem thing really, but yeah, that always has held me back. This worrying about my job thing, nobody else is putting pressure on me, it's me worrying about things. I'm a serial worrier, that's kind of me. They'd call it anxiety these days, I just think I'm just a worrier. But this video might be all over the place while I kind of get all these thoughts out there, but I just wanted to film a video and let you know where I've been, and then I'll get back to perhaps a bit more normal content, whatever normal is for me these days. I'm going in with the Fairy blush, going to use Sunstone, I love this shade. I'm using that flat 35 brush that I talked about in a Get Ready With Me recently. Gosh, look at that colour, so pretty. I need to blend it out, but I don't even mind like having a big streak of blush. I love blush. I think blush just brings you to life. I look like I've not been dug up now. I actually have a little bit of colour. So other than that, the only things of note that have happened is that we're decorating, and it's so exciting actually because our bedroom has just looked a wreck for probably 6 or 7 years. We haven't decorated it in all that time. It's very dark and depressing, and the carpet's old and manky. But we're getting a pale wood floor in there, and that's coming on Friday, and we've decorated it all in like a really soft kind of mint, pastel mint green. Everything just looks amazing. I will do a little video of it and insert it in my next video when it's all finished, because I'm super excited for that. But again, that's been taking our time up at the weekends, and the house is kind of a mess. I've got stuff everywhere, and I'm very OCD. This is something about me. I like everything pristine. So there's clothes all piled up on the spare bed. There's all the shoes that are in the fitted wardrobe all over the floor in the spare bed. Just every room I look in, there's mess. And so that's kind of like giving me mental clutter as well. I don't know. I think I'll be so much happier when that room's done, but it looks amazing. My husband's worked really hard on it. I'm not a decorator. I just tell him like what I want him to do with it really, and he gets on with it. Just using that same brush that I put the bronze on, just to kind of diffuse that blush into the bronzer a little bit. I'm going to go in with my Kevin Aquang contour powder in light for my nose as well. This is one of the products that's ridiculously expensive, like £35 for this tiny amount of product. How much product is in it? 4 grams of product. It's not large anyway, but I have had it for I think 3 years. I only ever use it as nose contour though, but I've got massive major pan in it, and I would repurchase it because it's just a really nice shade of like shadow rather than being too warm or too cool. It just kind of melts in. For highlight, I'm going to go in with the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, and I think I'm going to use the shade Kitty Cat. It's definitely my favourite shade in the palette, because I do love a highlight that kind of leans to a pinky shade, but it's not too pink that you couldn't wear it with, say, a peachy blush or whatever. It's kind of peachy pink, which is fine, and a bit of champagne to it. I'm the most rubbish at describing colours, but it's a good colour anyway, versatile colour. I'm using the Kaleidos highlight brush because that really helps buff product in and give you that glass-like shine that I like. So this is the first time I've worn makeup in at least a week, I think, because that's the other thing. I don't kind of look after myself if I'm not leaving the house. Like, I'll just slob around in like the most ugly clothes and not bother doing my hair or my nails or anything. And I think I've realised about myself that the reason I wore makeup is really like because I was going places and kind of maybe for other people, and I think a lot of women dress for other people as well. I think makeup's the same for me. It's kind of like part of making myself presentable for the world, but nobody's seeing me, so it's kind of like, what was the point? But I'm going to try and kind of do that, because I think the power of it once you put it on and how it makes you feel, I think I've missed that. So I'm going to go in, oh, I need to do my brows. This is why I'm looking weird, I've got no brows on. I'm just going to go in with the Linda Hallberg Infinity palette and Cigar. Same routine I always do, because I'm really boring with brows, I'm afraid, people, sorry. But it's how I like to do them, and it's what works best for me. I'm not the greatest at it, but it does the job. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else I can tell you. You'd think, wouldn't you, after 2 weeks of not being around, I'd have lots of things to talk about, but as I say, that's what my world has been. It's just literally been work, staying in, not seeing a soul, every day get up, sit at the computer for 10, 12 hours, have some tea, fall asleep in the chair because I'm tired and go to bed. That would depress anyone, wouldn't it? So I think definitely got to get more balance in my life for sure. And as I say, started my walking again last week, and I'm really upping the pace as well. I'm like, I always do between 5 and 6 miles in about an hour and 40 minutes, I guess. But I've got a Garmin watch and it's telling me I'm doing like around about a 17-minute mile, sometimes a 16-minute mile, so I'm properly striding it out. So I'm hoping, my knees have been really good lately, and that's what stops me running is my knees, but I haven't had any issues with, I've been covering, like last week I went from doing nothing the week before to doing 35 miles last week walking, which wouldn't recommend going from nothing to that, but I think because I've got a base of walking from when I was doing it regularly, my body's coping quite well with it. And aerobically I've always been able to do it, but it's always like my joints let me down. Another delightful part of becoming ancient, I'm afraid, but yeah, I managed to do a fair bit of walking with no ill effects, so kind of thinking I might get a little run walking next week on a couple of the days, kind of stick to the walking but get a little bit of running in as well. Running really helps like my mental state, and I think when you're out walking or running you've just got that time for yourself to like just think about stuff, process stuff, educate yourself. I listen to podcasts a lot and I learn a lot about things doing that, and that self-care I think has been severely lacking for me, and I need to bring that back. It's been quite hard, like the pandemic in the UK, it's like there's all this talk about a second wave, and I was kind of quite positive because the first wave was over. I was like, oh, I'm not in love with wearing a mask everywhere I go, so I just don't go shopping much because I just don't see the fun in it, and I certainly wouldn't go to the cinema or anything like that if I've got to sit there for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever in a mask. What's the fun in that? As soon as we get out of the supermarket, first thing I want to do is rip that mask off. I can't bear it. We only have to wear them indoors, but it makes you feel very panicky. I always feel like hyperventilating when I take it off. So again, that's kind of bringing me down because I'm like, how much longer is it going to go on for? And I think it's going to be forever. I can't see how we're going to get out of this situation, and I think that's another thing that I was so positive to begin with, and I'm now kind of like, I can't see us travelling again, I can't see us doing anything again, and that's quite hard to accept. But you know, we're still alive and we're still healthy, and I should be grateful for that. I've got a well-paid job, a lovely house, there's nothing to feel down about, but I still can't help it, and then I feel guilty for that, so then I feel like really upset with myself for that, and that kind of makes me feel worse. It's a very downward spiral if you let it. So I'm fighting back from it, and I'm just not going to let it. So I'm going to try and bring some joy to my life with the things I can do. So I don't know if we're completely even on both sides. That's always the thing. And then I'll go to correct the side I don't think is even, and that will get bigger, and then I'll have to do the other side, and that's how we end up with enormous brows. So maybe I'll just add a little bit of Fornax, which is the black, just for a little bit of defining strokes at the front there. Yeah, so we can go out pretty freely. The cases are down at the moment, but there's all this talk about like how things are beginning to spike again. There's areas of the country like up north, Manchester and whatever. I'm kind of Midlands or kind of East Anglia region of the UK, so we're fine at the moment. We're on the watch list. There's like a watch list of areas that are maybe impacted and that may be locked down again. But I know there are people that are back in lockdown, but it's kind of like a local approach. So it's definitely starting to ramp up. The more they open up in society, the more cases we're getting. So I can't see us booking any holidays anytime soon, and that's what I love to do with my time. I love to spend ages going through brochures, planning holidays, looking forward to them. Because we have no children, I think that's what we've always spent our time and money doing, is travelling. And so I don't know, it just feels like it's just a whole expanse of kind of no plans in front of us. So I'm trying to put some little plans in place to give me something to look forward to. Oh, my battery's going, just going to change that and I'll be right back with you. We might be somewhat in the same position, I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully we are. So I've got the Summer in Saint Tropez palette to play with today, and it's a new palette to me, but it's an older palette, it came out last summer. But I always enjoy a red crease and kind of something goldy on my lids, so that's kind of what I'm going to do today. Maybe a spot of yellow in my inner corner, so something kind of neutral but on the red side, and a red lip. All the things that make me feel sparkly and happy are going into this look today, so that's what we're going to do. Eyeshadow base, just a Sigma one. I really need to try some more eyeshadow bases, and whenever I place an order for any makeup, they're not the first thing that comes to mind, but they really are the foundation of your eye look, so I really could do with finding one that I think works better for me. I like this one actually, it's just the colour's a bit too dark and a bit too pink, so maybe I should just go for the Ignite shade and that might be perfect. So as part of like my plan to get Debbie out the downers, I've met up with a couple of my work friends. We met in the park. You can meet in the park without a mask, anywhere outdoors in the UK, as long as you're social distancing. I don't know what it's like in the countries you're in, but you can meet outside. And so I met up with these two girls, and we only met for an hour and a half, but the effect it had on my mood, I just felt so much better. So that was not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before, and that's when I decided, right, I need to get out more, get talking to other people, because I was really just shutting myself off from the world and feeling miserable. And so yeah, that really was the turning point, so I'm very grateful to those two girls. So we just had a chat about something and nothing, but it was almost like, because they told me they were feeling very similar, very like isolated, very, you know, finding it just as hard as me. That made me feel a little bit better, because I felt like everyone else was coping and I wasn't coping, so that did make me feel great. And we didn't spend the whole time being miserable either. It was a lovely chat, and it just made me feel like friends are everything and really important. So I did that, got out walking again, and this weekend we've got some plans. I'm excited for that. Right, I'm going to go in with Jet Set, I think. So, of course I am, because it's the red shade. And probably Crepe to blend that out. Going old school with the Sigma E25. Still one of my favourite brushes. And I'm not going to do anything wild. I'm just going to take that through my crease, front to back. This isn't going to be a complicated to create look. It's just a look. I think that's the other thing about doing YouTube. You feel like this kind of obligation to keep coming up with new concepts, new kind of out the box looks, and sometimes I think people aren't doing their makeup that way, you know, at home, and I think I need to stop thinking in that way. I know I'm known for like my out there kind of colour combos and whatever, and I love doing that creative stuff, but sometimes just applying makeup simply and prettily can be just as effective. So I'm going to do a lot more of that, I think, and maybe even some tutorials where I don't even tell you what I'm using, because I don't think it should all be the focus on what the product is, getting you guys to buy new products. That's really not what I'm about. I'm trying to resist buying new products myself, so I don't want to be adding to the problem for anybody else. So I think I will do some, probably once or twice a month, no brand tutorial. Would you guys be up for that? Just seeing colours being used and like the creativeness of that. Because I think we've all got, say, a red, a yellow, a green, a pink shade in our collections that we could replicate things from. That's kind of what I'd like to do. But yeah, plans for this weekend. I'm meeting up with Angeline. So those of you that have followed my channel for some time, look at this colour. I'm always really impressed with BH Cosmetics. How do they do this? Palette was £12.50. How do they do the quality like this that blends so well, that's so pigmented for that price? They're very underrated. But yeah, she's coming over here, and I'm going to show her all the walks that I do all around by the lakes and whatever. She likes walking too. So she's going to come over and meet at our house, and you can have people in the garden as long as they don't go in your house. So I think so anyway. I'm so confused with the rules in the UK because they change on a daily basis, but as far as I understand, we can still meet in the garden. So we'll do that and then we'll go out for a nice long walk and a catch up. And I've not seen her in person since lockdown started in March, and I think I've only phoned her twice because we're not really chatters on the phone particularly. I think she would be, but I'm not a phone chatter, I'm a texter, and I don't think she likes texting that much, so unless we meet up in person. And that's another thing, you know, we always used to go for like a coffee date and shopping, and again, I just can't see me wanting to do that with a mask on, spending 4 or 5 hours wearing a mask in the shopping centre. It's just not going to happen. So we've just got to find other things that we can do that we can still meet up. She was my friend, we were going to be going to Vegas together, kind of my closest friend, so it'd be lovely to see her. And we can talk for England, we really can. We just literally, once we get together, we don't stop, and I think it's going to be just what I need. So we're doing that on Saturday. She's coming over at 10. So I'm going to try and film before that, so I look presentable when she gets here. And I'll have a film for you to go up on Sunday, hopefully. And then Saturday evening, we've got some of my husband's friends, just a couple, coming round, and we're having a barbecue in the garden. And it just feels so good to have some plans again, you know. I'm going to use the Morphe 506 as a blending brush, and I'm going to go in with crepe, as I say. I'm just going to add a touch of that just above that shade. Just going to make it look very sunsetty, but I love a sunset look, so there's nothing wrong with that, eh? Probably going to add some pink in my outer corner as well, because pink and red look so pretty together, I think. I got this palette because I thought it was the perfect travel palette, if that ever happens again. But it's the perfect summer palette in any way, because in the summer, particularly if I go on holiday, I don't want anything too complicated. I just want things that will blend together really well, that like complement each other, and really pretty shimmers, and this has got all of that. It's pretty versatile actually. I've been looking at the new ones. Are they Sweet Shop or something like that? Oh, I can't remember what they're called, but the new ones that have come out that are monochromatic, and I'm not going to buy them because I don't really like monochromatic palettes, but if I was to buy any of them, like the strawberry red one is calling my name. It's like a cherry theme, whatever it is, but I won't be buying them because I don't need them. Right, I'm going to take that crepe shade on my lower lash line and just blend that out first as a base, and then I'll probably go closer to my lashes with the Jet Set shade. Ooh, that's when it's getting powdery. I hate that when the powder fluffs up like that. I'm like, as soon as that goes on my contact lenses, it's game over because I can't see. So it didn't happen though, we're alright. So yeah, so this weekend should be amazing. I've got Friday off because the flooring's coming in. Although I'm working from home, I just thought if I'm on a conference call or whatever, and like the guy's trying to do the floor, and like I don't know if he's going to be sawing or banging or whatever, I thought that wouldn't be good. So, and he might want me to make him a coffee or whatever, so I just thought take the day off. But it's supposed to be 28, 30 degrees centigrade on Friday. So I think a bit of relaxing with a book in the garden. I won't be able to film on Friday because all the furniture that is currently in our bedroom will need to go in my beauty room to vacate the room for the floor to go in. But that might be good because I can just read some books. I'd love some recommendations. You guys readers, I'd love some recommendations for like your summer blockbustery kind of books. I used to love like Jackie Collins books back in the day. Like quite raunchy kind of books, but books that are like that like you absorb yourself in the characters. Like, did you guys ever read the Lucky series, Lucky Son Tangela, whatever it's called? I used to love reading those on the beach. They're big books as well, so they take ages to read. I don't like books that have only got a couple of 100 pages. I like to really get absorbed in a book, and I hate it when those sort of books finish. So I need to find some books to get myself lost in a little bit. I'm just going to use a definer brush and that Jet Set reddish orange and a JH43. I'm loving the Jacqueline Hill brushes. Really good quality. So I'm just stamping that closer to my lower lashes. I'll probably go in with a nice bright neon-y waterline, I think. I'm reading a book called The Catch at the moment by T.M. Lewin, and I've got another book as well which is called The Holiday, and they're both awesome. They're kind of like, both of them have got a murder at the heart of them, but they're not just kind of focused on that. They're not a crime thing, they're more like a character study really, but just so well written, twisty and turny, and so I like books like that as well. Chick lit, I like lots of different books really. I used to love reading Ben Elton books, but he hasn't really brought anything up for a long time, but you know, like satire kind of stories on modern life and that kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely want to get back into reading. I normally only read on holiday, because I haven't been on holiday, I haven't been reading, but I've been making myself do that a bit more just lately and really enjoying it. Right, I think that's the base of the look down. So there's some really, really pretty shimmers in this palette, but the one I want to use is Exotic. It's got that kind of greeny gold to it. I'm going to use my NYX glitter primer because I can't use a shimmer without it. So that's my plans for Friday. Total chill out day, read a book, sunbathe in the garden with my Factor 50 on under a sun umbrella so that I don't burn, because I've got the palest skin ever, so I have to be careful. But I love the warmth of the sun and just how it relaxes you. Maybe a couple of cocktails. Loving Aperol Spritz at the moment, so if you're in the UK as well and you like your cocktails, Marks and Spencer's have some amazing deals on their pre-mixed cocktails as well. So passion fruit martini cocktail that they do is gorgeous. So yeah, have a proper kind of holiday day but at home on Friday, and I can't wait. I think I put far too much glitter primer on. I'm trying to spread it out to try and not completely ruin my eye look now. Right, so I'm going in with that Exotic shade. I'm hoping it's not just going to be a topper shade and it's opaque enough. Oh no, it's gorgeous. Wow. It's one of those, it's a little bit like the goldy greeny shades in the Kaleidos Escape Pod palette. So if you've not got that, or you haven't got the budget for that, this might be an alternative if you were looking for a shade like that, because as I say, this palette's only £12.50 and is incredibly impressive, I think, for that money. Really having a good time with this palette. Another reason I didn't buy the monochromatic palettes, apart from the fact I don't really like monochromatic palettes, is that they haven't made it to Beauty Bay yet. And Beauty Bay are so slow at picking up BH Cosmetics, but they do have the Avocado Toast and the Mimosa palettes, and I'm kind of tempted on those now. Because they've got a bit of variation in tone in them and a few different shades, and they're not totally monochromatic. The Mimosa one looks gorgeous to me. I do want to kind of bring some pink into the outer corner, so I'm going to go with that shade, which is Nightlife. Morphe 321, that's another good brush as well. Another lovely thing that happened, started with a horrible thing. So my Flamingo light that's in my background there, he's Flamingo version 2. He needs a name, guys, give me a name for my Flamingo. But anyway, my previous Flamingo, my husband's wardrobe's in that corner. He slung the wardrobe out. I'd had quite a hectic day at work. I was just chilling in the garden with a wine on Friday night. Husband said, I'm just going up for a shower. And then I heard him like swearing out the window, and I was like, what's up? And he goes, oh, I've just broke your Flamingo. Yeah, it's a glass neon kind of thing. It was quite expensive and I was very fond of it. And it had lived in a different corner of my beauty room for the last sort of 2 years. And I'd only just recently moved it there. And I kind of saw it as a sign, well, I shouldn't even be doing YouTube. You know, this is me getting too big for my boots because my channel's growing a bit. And I don't know, this is how my brain works, like it was fate or something. So anyway, it was broken, the glass was broken. And so I was having a chat with the lovely Nikki Raven saying, oh, I'm just so fed up and whatever. And then asked me for my address, and I was like, what's she want my address for? She said, I want to get you something, and I was like, I'm always a bit weird about getting gifts, but anyway, I gave her the address, and she bought me this guy. Isn't he just adorable? So I've already got one actually. I'd got this one, and this one's not got a glittery beak, but the one that Nikki's got me has got like, yeah, it's really, really sparkly, more glittery than my one, of course. So now I've got a pair of them, so they're me and Nikki in flamingo form, and I just thought that was just the kindest, sweetest gesture, because she kind of knew that it was like symbolic for me, like I was just fed up. And she said, I know it's not the same. She sent me a card and she said, I know it's not the same, but I hope this will cheer you up. That was just such a lovely thing to do. I don't know many people that would do something like that. And sending it all the way from the Netherlands as well. And oh, just so sweet of her. Nikki, I love you. You're one of my favourite people in the world. And that's why I realise I've got to keep doing YouTube, because it brings more to my life than it ever takes away. Like, I've met some amazing people. Sometimes I'm just too tired to do it and it just like stresses me out, but I'll always be back because it is a special thing in my life. And then I bought another flamingo because I was like, I really like the flamingos. So I bought another one, and my husband gave me the money for it because he felt guilty that he'd broken it. So those two flamingos are gonna sit in my background where my little lights are at the back there. There's a little card that Nikki gave me. You can see that in the corner. And I'm so sentimental, I'll always keep that. Right, I think I want to use Intoxicating, which is that really bright yellowy lemony shade. But I think we're going to need some kind of base to make that pop. I'm going to go in White Core by Linda Haberg. A white base with like a bright shade like that always helps. I don't want to take too much, but just that inner corner portion there. Filming this before work, and I've got 10 minutes before I'm meant to be starting work, so I'm really going to need to get a move on. I'm just packing that Intoxicating shade just into that inner corner, and I'm hoping to blend it into the crease shades there as well, which I think is working quite well. Yeah, if you want a summer palette, and only if you're in the market for it, don't be buying something just because I've used it, but if you're in the market for a summery palette with these kind of shades, I'm really impressed with this one. Could go with something really funky in the waterline, a different colour, but I'm just going to stick with the theme. So I'm going for Stereo from Lethal Cosmetics. Not used that one yet. And a flat definer, because that's the best way to use these in the waterline. Not quite as popping as I thought it would be, that one. I did start filming a 3 looks 1 palette before I went on my Debbie Downer with the Lethal Cosmetics After Dark palette, and I hopefully will finish it at some point, because I think a lot of you are interested in Lethal. I love Lethal. To wing or not to wing? I think we'll just have a little trace of black liner. If you've not got much time, doing a wing is always a risk, I think. So I think we won't really do a wing. Just a black kind of line over the top. And into a baby wing. Hypno Doll Eyes mascara by Lancome to finish my lashes. It's my favourite, what can I say? I suppose we should finish with just what's coming up for my channel, or what I'm hoping to do this month. In all honesty, I'll probably get a couple of videos up a week if I'm lucky. I'm going to try and get at least 1 up a week. Just keep in touch with you guys, keep things ticking over until I kind of find a way of like making everything work with the working from home, getting out to keep myself sane and filming. But I do have a collab coming, which will be middle of August, which will be nice. It's with someone I've collabed with before who's a friend, so, and it's a fun one using a palette that I think all of you may have, or a lot of people will have, or you'll have things similar. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, got a tag I want to film. a tag I've written myself I want to film. There you go, I've said it, so I've got to do it. I do have one order or a couple of orders coming of new makeup. I've got the Melt Impulsive palette because they were doing it for $25 on the website with free shipping. So I thought even with customs charges on top it's still going to be pretty good value. So I've got that coming. It's shipped but it's still in America somewhere, but it has left them. Melt takes quite a while to get here. And I've ordered a Soleimani palette from Odin's Eye Cosmetics. Wanted to try them for ages, and that said it's going to be here within 24 to 48 hours and really reasonable shipping, so I'm excited for that. It's quite a neutralish palette really, with a pop of lavender, but it's had such great reviews and I'm really intrigued by the brand, so might do a little review on that when it comes. Right, lipstick then. I want red, so I'm going in with 714 lip liner by Urban Decay. I'm going to fill in my entire lips with it. And then I've got Bullseye by Linda Hallberg over the top. I've filled in my entire lips because this one's quite glossy and sheer. But it gives you a really nice glossy lip then. And that's the look for this video, and I really love how it turned out. I'm so happy to be back filming. I think whenever I take a break and then I come back to filming, I realise how much I miss it, how much I miss you guys and chatting to you. I've got some comments to catch up with because I've literally not done anything to do with YouTube for, as I say, a couple of weeks while I've been on my little pity party. So I'm going to catch up with those later today, and today is Tuesday, hoping to get this edited later today and get it up today. If not, it will be up on Wednesday. And as I say, I hope to film again on Saturday. So hang on in there with me, guys. I'm so appreciative that you haven't all left in the 2 weeks that I've not been uploading. I think, you know, I used to look at YouTubers and think like, why can't they upload on a regular schedule and all of this, and another excuse why they haven't put a video up. But you know, it's not like YouTubers are different to anyone else. You know, we're all people just going through life and trying to deal with whatever life throws at us, and I think at the moment it's not easy for anybody, and I think I just need to give myself a break sometimes about that and not feel guilty when I don't upload, and think, you know, I'm providing free content when I do and I'm trying my best. So, and it's a hobby and I shouldn't feel too obligated if I can't do it. So I'm going to try when I can, when I'm feeling good enough to do it, when I have the time to do it. And just thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys are feeling good as well and not feeling like I did, but my DMs are always open. If you guys want to talk, if you're having a bad day, if you're feeling like I was feeling, you know, it's definitely helped me reaching out to a few people and talking to them. So yeah, I'm always there. And as I say, hope you're having a lovely day or night though, wherever you are. That's my normal closing phrase, so we're going to say it. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, guys. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.